I'm actually invested in this case.
So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
Right?
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case?
Yes, I am.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
You're really laughing. Someone just died. Like, just now. Right in front of us. You're laughing. You're one cricket son of a... Everyone left.
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
I was confused.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
No.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion.
So, you know, Mr. Caldwell was your assistant. Do you have anyone else that helped you with the setup performance?
I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box.
Maybe that woman is the reason why the women are disappearing.
As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Yes, it is very strange. But there's no denying what happened.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Where did he get those glasses?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, not the time to be goofing around.
Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Now, not a good time.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
You help me, I help you.
Yes, thank you so much.
I won't let you down. Also, I'm kind of used to this sort of thing.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial.
True.
'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it.
I can understand how that feels.
But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
Wait a minute. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe that girl who stole something from that guy is the cause of the murderer. Or disappearance of the women.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case! Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
We're Lenny's and Lynette's attorneys.
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Too late.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see.
Alright. Let's
The
go.
deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it.
But why was Colwell inside?
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident.
True.
If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
We just met.
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
We just met.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
But that's not always true. People can also be the most reliable evidence.
Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
You can use the case record to confirm your current evidence, include collection, situations, and sort case-related information. Oh boy. You can check as yet undiscovered evidence and clues in the case record. Then investigate the corresponding area to locate them. This is a murder soul suspect now. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Use the perception skill to find evidence and clues that can be investigated within a certain radius around yourself. This will advance your overall progress. I hate doing this type of game investigations, clues and stuff. Guards investigation report. The investigation. I want to read that. Yeah. Deceased identity. The deceased one's lady's assistant named Colwell. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His jobs was setting up, this. Oh boy, this is gonna be really annoying. So I'm like lying. Yep. I choose perception skill.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall.
You see that?
The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
Father, Lenny didn't realize this was a safety concern.
Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler?
Someone died, Paimon. Are you serious? I'm just looking at where the rope snapped. Someone literally died. I mean, why it's so
Whoa.
serious?
Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
It seems to be flammable. Like a type of flash carton.
Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes!
Could be not doing myself to remember anything. This rope was used to suspend the water tank. It suddenly broke. Yes, we know. We know. You, sir. Maurice?
Hello there! What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects.
It's my boy
The
Black.
investigation team is still collecting evidence.
BHD.
The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Can you tell us who she is?
Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thanks for letting us know.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Good thing show us where we gotta go instead of figuring this out and stuff. Broken magic boxes. Let's on the scene. After the grin, when the guards completed their vest. How can I read? You. What do you know?
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time.
Weird. How do I go? How do I... Go left. Okay. Why is it multiple? It's gonna be a pain to fight.
I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Thanks for thanks, Sergeant Bradley.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Yeah, it's just looking bad on his end. You wanna know a selector? This will say no every time. Alright. I'm gonna clear from the opera. What are these?
This rope was obviously tampered with. People needed to register and reserve a seat for the show. That, combined with this number selector, could allow you to pick a young lady instead of some old fogey. Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand.
It's not looking good on his end. I remember my butt. Hey, you.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, all right?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
Oh, yeah.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind.
I forgot about
but now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
Indeed.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank, or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Dan, what if the water tank has started to swing a bit in that case?
Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
Strange noise. Good job. Clue. Filming. It looks like an ordinary box, but Lenny somehow moved instantly from the stage, being inside of it. How did he do it?
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
There are people over here. Do I talk to them? No? How important? Okay.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
And who are you?
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
Nope.
From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Alright.
Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Melus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rasula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So, you want to investigate as well?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Okay.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever.
True.
Wasn't she?
She was.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away.
They did.
Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Oh, you put it like that.
All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
What's an opera?
Well,
and why would
Not
that
always.
be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside. Something serious like the trial should be treated like entertainment.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
I think you're missing the point, Paimon.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
Maybe that Hydro Archon is the murderer.
You have a point. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister?
It was weird why the guy was sitting in the front seat instead of being on his usual spot.
And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
Alright. Yeah, on to this. You.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about doing a show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time, I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
Melazines, that's what you are.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here.
Alright.
Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful info.
So how could we
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You said no risk, L risk. You do your job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Damn, that would be like a really devastating thing. Have your dream crushed and people finding out how your magic works and stuff, and then think you're a fraud or whatever.
Huh?
Like, oh, man.
Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
Back of the door is the same.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Wait, does that mean there's another box inside this one?
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I figured that much. And this passage linked the 2 boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
And what about your figure of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began...
Oh, my bad.
I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
Oh.
And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow, every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
I can say a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would.
Yep.
But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off.
You're kind of obvious.
And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
So much information was added. This should be the control device for the trolley. It seems to be able to operate automatically. A ladder is required in order to return to the magic box above.
Huh. What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
The lady didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
That's probably what that noise was.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Maybe it was for a trick?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear? And here's a broken vase! Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Really nothing too complicated. Just show me where to go. Dress.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Lenny didn't mention the guests having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Paimon, someone died. High precision is required to complete this magic show. And tracks are perfect for making a trolley stay on its designated course. This is all kinds of pros and costumes are have fancy stuff inside. The trellis is crucial for transporting the magic box to the other side. The culprit must use this to execute their plan. I think that's all for now. What's my missing? Trying to read. Trying to surface. There's nothing else to be investigated. To investigate. Right. What am I looking for? Investigate, rather than that. That's good. That's was investigated. That's been investigated. Clothing. Yeah, clothing. Where am I missing? That's alright. Alright. Oh. The vent, of course.
What is this place?
Looks like a vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that goes through the magic boxes. And Lenny and Lynette were in the two magic boxes.
Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
Oh, snap. Let me have her, let me have.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels!
It would seem so.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
It does.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
But don't look easy.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced.
Indemnitium.
The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's not the time to be picky.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon.
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Nice.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a Spina de Rosa alive thing. Yes, the mentally unrelated ingredients that she cooked this
And Paimon
stuff.
thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven.
Yeah, burgers.
Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling.
They don't look like snacks.
From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
That's something.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
Black tea? Why don't you take a break as well?
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So apart from the twins, we're left with 2 other people. The missing girl and the deceased.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet!
So I'm trying to think. If the twins didn't do it, before that woman from the crowd disappeared, I mean from the audience had disappeared, her clothes was missing. Why is her clothes missing? That's a good question. So maybe there is a third person, or maybe there isn't. Maybe she dressed up as someone else right now, and still alive. Who could she be?
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
Could it be her? Navia?
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine. If you ate some, you ate some.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Maloose, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's really no need to do that.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
At the ready.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help, and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Disappeared one
It's time
in
to put our heads together.
running
We've gotta
ropes.
get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case.
Sure.
There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare.
I don't know how they're gonna do this. It does seem like they're the one. They say 10. It's really like a few minutes away, but.
I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister.
Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
8 to 10. Yum. Oh, wait. Huh? Yeah, I messed up. But it was 8, though. Whatever. The following day, but it's literally the next day. Whatever. Ooh.
I'm fine.
I'm thirsty.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan.
Oh, I need a beer.
Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Alright. Let's see how this goes. I got a feeling he'll wind up in jail anyways, because it's really just them two. And Cobalt, but he's dead.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Not that well.
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look
I
disappointed.
ain't trying to hear
Don't
that,
tell me that your
man.
investigation came up empty-handed.
I have a feeling you're involved in this crime scene.
That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
Yeah,
But don't let
whatever.
that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed
Just
should you...
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do.
Of course.
Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
Oh, brother, this woman.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
He didn't hear it.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Yep.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Lily not know about that sound?
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Ooh.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They probably represent the ultra stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me,
She is so full of
aren't
herself.
you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
They're Fatui.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us
That's what this
everything
is,
that
nice.
happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Link and Leonette are Fatui.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about the magician's ability to con others. Given how Lini has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine, along with other house operators. There must be some scheme at work here. I have been a victim of such scheme before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
My client has withheld some key information. My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience,
stand her.
let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Yeah, we get it. Dang, she's annoying. Hardcore joining me with Lenny Nutty backstage in the Opera House.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We
not that
based our
serious.
entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain.
I feel what a Fatui is.
I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how could we know this isn't just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
Indeed.